Hello friends, I'm Narendra Verma again with you. As you know very well that we are dealing with the second chapter in accountancy class 12, that is fundamentals of partnership, and in today's session we are going to cover meaning of partnership deed, contents of deed, importance of deed, rights of partners, liabilities of partners, provision of Indian Partnership Act 1932 applicable in the absence of deed. Alright, so without wasting much time, let's start. So, very first, let's talk about partnership deed. In last class, we learned that there was one feature in the partnership, that was agreement, and we learned that the agreement can be oral or written. All right, oral means orally if somebody has kept one proposal and you have accepted on some certain terms and conditions, that is oral agreement. But if these terms and conditions have been written on a paper and have been signed by the all partners, then it becomes what? Partnership deed. All right, so partnership deed is nothing but a written agreement, and this agreement, what does it have? It has terms and conditions agreed by all partners. All right, to run business. Okay, so if you really want to define the partnership deed, so partnership deed is a written agreement containing terms and conditions signed by all the partners. Understood? So this kind of written agreement is known as what? Partnership deed. Okay, one more thing, let me tell you important thing about it. It's a legal document. It can be produced in court in case of any dispute. All right, so it's a legal document. It's not like that anybody has done anything, because on stamp papers it is done. It's not done on plain paper and all. Okay, certain kind of stamp duties are there on which your terms and conditions are written and you do signature. Okay, thenceforth it is known as partnership deed. Okay, when we say written document, it becomes deed itself a kind of legal term. Okay, deed is a kind of any written document, and when we add partnership before that, then it becomes the written document related to partnership. All right. Now let's move on to another concept in today's session, that is contents of deed. Now, how many things are there in that deed? Let me tell you one thing, that there is not a kind of set format of a deed. All right, it depends on mutual understanding of the partners, mutual acceptance of the partners. They can keep any point, they can remove any point, they can add another point. All right, but even then, on an average, what can be the possible points in a partnership deed? We are going to discuss about it. Okay, in your books also you will be finding certain kind of contents which should be there in a partnership deed, but it is not necessary that every partnership deed will have all these points. All right, partners may add some more points apart from these as per their requirements, or may remove or may not keep the particular points. Okay, but we are studying that these points should be there. Okay, so within a moment I just write down and we'll have this. So let's have a look on this. See, there are 19 points given here. Maybe possible there are some more points, but on an average these points should be there. Okay, so let's discuss them one by one. The very first point is given here, description of the partners. So let's take one example over here. Okay, we just take the example that there are four partners, partner A, B, C and D. Okay, now let's see. So if these four are going to have agreement, they are going to have partnership deed, so what points they should keep? Very first, they need to give descriptions about them. What does it mean? It means they have to mention their full name, their father's name, okay, their residential address and their photo IDs, etc. These kind of formalities need to be done. All right, all these partners. So description of the partners. Understood? Now another point, description of the firm. Okay, so what name they are going to give to their firm. All right, maybe possible they are having their name ABC, so ABC Associates, ABC Brothers, any kind of name can be given. So description of the firm. Okay, now another, principal place of business. See, sometimes what happen, you have one main or head office at one place and you have several branches in many other places. What will be the principal place of the business? What will be the head office or main office? Okay, so what is the address of that? It has to be mentioned here. All right, very first we need to select which one would be there, where will be keeping, and what is the exact address of that. It has to be mentioned. And another, nature of business. Whatever business you are doing, what is the nature of that? You are doing trading, you are doing educational business, or you are doing any kind of business. Okay, maybe production or anything. Fine. So that nature of business has to be mentioned here. Fine. Next, commencement of partnership. Again, important point. Say for example, today is 20th January. All right, and we have already started our business on 1st January, but we did not take partnership deed at that point of time. So we are making deed on 20th January. There is no problem, but we will mention there that the partnership has commenced with effect from 1st January. All right. So whenever the partnership is starting, you need to mention the date. Okay, and if you are starting from the same date on which the agreement is happening, then you can mention that it is commencing today onwards. All right, or if you are willing to commencing after 1 month, then right now you are doing the agreement and after 1 month you will start your partnership, then you can mention the date of after 1 month. Understood the point? So date has to be mentioned here, specific date. Okay, then capital contribution. So who will invest how much? Okay, how much will be given by A, how much by B, how much by C, and how much by D. It has to be mentioned here. All right. Okay. Now next, interest on capital. Say for example, he has given 50,000 rupees. He has given 40,000 rupees. He has given 30,000 rupees, and he is given 20,000 rupees. All right. Now, interest on their capitals will be provided or not, because if they had invested this amount of money in some other activity or in bank or in any kind of financial option, then they would have earned some money as interest. So if you are willing to keep interest on capital, then at what rate it has to be provided. Okay, it has to be mentioned here. Okay, and interest on drawings. Interest on drawings, sometimes what happen, for their personal uses, the partners may withdraw some money from business. Okay, say for example, in a year he has withdrawn 1,000 rupees, he has withdrawn 500, he has withdrawn 600, and he has withdrawn 400. So over this amount, some kind of interest has to be charged or not. That will be the income to firm. Okay, but that will be a kind of expense for these personally. All right, so it has to be there or not, because if they had taken that money from somewhere else, they would have paid interest over there. All right, when this point is genuine, then this is also genuine. Okay, so if they want to keep this point, then at what rate the interest will be charged, it has to be mentioned. Now, profit sharing ratio. Okay, like I told you that it is not necessary that they should be getting the profit sharing ratio as per their investment. Say for example, they have decided that A will get 50%, he will get 10%, he will get 20%, and he will also get 20%. So how much it comes out? Total 100%. Maybe possible they have decided this. Fine. Okay, so this percentage, okay, or in fraction, right? It can be mentioned in percentage as well as in fraction. It has to be mentioned in the partnership deed that in what ratio they are going to share profit and losses. Okay, now interest on loan. Maybe possible that the firm is facing some kind of losses, and this person D, he just came forward and invested 15,000 from his personal property, and that is a kind of loan to firm. Okay, so when he is giving loan to firm, then if he has given this 15,000 to somebody else, he would have earned some money as interest. So firm should pay some interest. Or if you see from the side of the firm that the firm is getting some money, some loan, then from another party, third party, then also it would have to pay some kind of interest. So what will be the rate of interest in that case? It has to be decided here. Okay, like I told you that it is not necessary to put all these points, but it is suggestive that these points can be there. Few points are must, like description of the partner, description of the firm, okay, and principal place. So these are the common points. Now, the remuneration to partners. The partners will be actively involved in the operation of the business, then they will be getting some salaries, okay, or bonus or commission, etc. or not. If it is a kind of provision, it has to be mentioned in the deed. All right. Okay. Now, per month, quarterly, annually, whatever. Now let's talk about valuation of goodwill. That is another chapter. Valuation of goodwill. In what case the goodwill will be estimated and valued? That there are various kind of methods to estimate the goodwill that we'll be learning in the other chapter. Say for example, there are 4 methods. So according to which method the goodwill has to be valued, it has to be decided here. If they want to decide valuation of assets, sometimes what happens, the new partner is added. Say for example, another partner comes in the business with the consent of all the partner, that is E, that is a new partner. So at the time of admission of new partner, we have to do 2 activities. We have to value goodwill as well. So according to the method that has been mentioned, we'll be doing, and we have to value the assets as well. So at what rate we'll be valuing, what system will be following, in that case we are keeping the provision. Okay, and this case is applied at that time also when the partner retires. Say for example, this C partner is going, okay, this is retiring. So at that point of time also we'll have to run these 2 activities. So that system will be applicable over here. Now settlement of account. Okay, so how the accounts will be settled, right? Okay, in case of admission, like I told you, in case of retirement, these are the another chapters related to partnership. We will be learning all these. Okay, fine by. So in what way the accounts will be settled? Say for example, the organization is going to be ended. In that case also, how the accounts are going to be settled. So this has to be decided. Rights and duties of partners. So what will be the rights and duties of the partners as per the demand of the business? Okay, who will be doing what? Now, duration of partnership. Sometimes what happens, the partnerships are there for a specific period, for a specific completion of job. Say for example, there are 2 partners and they have taken the contract of completion of a bridge, okay, and they have formed partnership only for that purpose. Okay, so they'll mention in their partnership that we are partners till the contract is completed, or they will mention in their partnership that we are partner for 5 years, for 2 years, for 1 year, whatever. So if there is any kind of condition, then it has to be mentioned here. Otherwise it is like we learn going concern concept, it has to go on and all. Now bank account operation, like I told you that there are 4 partners, then who will be operating account, who will be signing the checks? Okay, maybe possible that these 2 have been decided, then these 2 will operate the account, they will do the signature. So it has to be mentioned here. Okay, or a single person is there, or all 4 are doing that, it has to be mentioned. Now death of a partner. If any partner dies, because death can come to anyone anytime, it cannot be planned. The retirement can be planned and admission of a partner can be planned, but death is not planned. That is the unplanned event. So if that happens, then in that case what will be the procedure, what amount will be given to the family of that person, and how the accounts will be settled, of everything has to be mentioned. Now settlement of disputes. This is another point. If any kind of dispute happens, in spite of having all these terms and conditions, if there is any kind of dispute, then how it is going to be settled. Now understand here, sometimes what happens is it is not necessary or not required or not recommended to go court all the time. Okay, sometimes if they have disputes, so they can take the another way also to solve their problem. Fine, say for example, these all 4 trust a lawyer or CA or any knowledgeable person who is trusted by all these, and they have kept the name of that person with the consent of that particular person. Okay, that in case of dispute he will be solving. Whatever decision he will be giving, that will be final for us. Alright, so that can also be done. Or if you are talking about the court, then in which jurisdiction it has to be there, it has to be mentioned over here. So it is all about the partnership deed. So it is a kind of suggestive content, may be possible. Some partners may add or remove some points from this. Alright, so this is about this. Now let's move on to another concept. Now let's talk about importance of partnership deed. Sometimes the question comes, it is mandatory to have partnership deed? No, it's not mandatory, it's not compulsory, it's not essential at all. All right, according to law. Okay, you can run your business in without having the partnership deed as well, because deed is what? Written agreement. Okay, agreement is must. We learned in the feature of the partnership, agreement is must, but it can be either oral or written. You do it written, that's really good, but you can do your business on the basis of oral agreement also. So according to that, it is not mandatory, compulsory, essential to have a partnership deed. One point, but it is desirable. If they want, they can do it, and it is suggestive as well. It's better to have a written agreement. It's better to have partnership deed. Okay, if you are really coming into partnership business, all right, for future reference. Okay, so it's better to have. If you have not made partnership deed, if you are having only oral agreement, then what happens in case of any dispute? The problem will come, you'll have to go to court, and the court will apply all the provisions of Indian Partnership Act 1932, which are applicable in the absence of partnership deed. Otherwise your deed will work as a legal document. Whatever has been written in the deed, it has to be followed, because the partners have done their signature, and above that signature it is written that I have read and understood all the terms and condition and giving my full consent in my all senses. Then you do signature and with the date. So when you have accepted everything, and when that point is coming, for example, say for example these four are having one clause in their partnership deed that they will be getting 2000 rupees per month. All right, even in case of loss. Now the loss happens. Okay, now deed says that it has to be provided. Okay, but now money is not there. Who will be providing that? The question comes. If you go to court, what the court will say, that in case of because you have not mentioned one point in your deed, you have not mentioned that if that's okay, even in case of loss 2000 salary will be paid to all partners, but if the money is not there in the firm, then how it will be paid? Okay, then the court will say that according to Partnership Act 1932, there is no provision that even in case of loss the salary has to be paid. No salary will be paid. Okay, so that is applicable where whatever point you have missed there, as well as in the condition where oral agreement is there. Fine. Now let's take another example. Say for example, it has been decided that if any partner gives loan to firm, then he has to be paid interest at the rate of 10% per annum. Now D provided loan, right? D provided loan, but A is saying that we will give you interest at the rate of 5%. Now he can go to court. It is written in the deed. Fine. Then the court judgment will be there in the favor of D. Why? Because every partner accepted the term and condition, so they have to pay. So they got safety just because of partnership deed. So it's better to have partnership deed. It is all the kind of suggestion. Okay, but if you do not have partnership deed, then what happens? Then all the provisions of Partnership Act 1932 will be applicable. Now let's move on.